Sincere thanks to all our audience. To continue watching videos without ads, you can subscribe via the Gumroad link below the description. If you want to watch the latest free videos, you can visit ourdailyblog.com. If you continue to love and support us, you can donate to us via GiveSendGo or PayPal or Gumroad link below the description. God bless us all. Restored Republic via GCR, update as of March 14, 2026. The latest video will be shown earlier at the official website ourdailyblog.com. Judy note, people may wonder why they were closing down the world for 10 or so days while the global military alliance headed by President Trump made mass arrests of Satan-worshipping pedophile deep state elites. It's because those deep state elites have control of the world's monetary system since the beginning and used it to control the global population while doing horrible things to our innocent children in their worship of Satan in exchange for his fake promises of wealth, power and glory. Trump and the Global Alliance were setting people of the world free through a centuries-old, 209-nation coup plan to save the world. Martial law has been declared worldwide, with military tribunals activated under emergency powers according to President Trump. The U.S. constitutional republic has been restored, with the new U.S. Treasury located in Temple, Texas. Washington, D.C. was now the Washington Military District. The deep state cabal's crime syndicate government has been dismantled. Last night, Thursday, March 12, 2026, a Special Forces military unit raided the Clintons at their Chappaqua estate. They were arrested and taken to Gitmo. Bill Clinton underwent a military tribunal and was sentenced to hang for Epstein crimes. Hillary also went before a military court and was sentenced to death by hanging for treason, child trafficking, and crimes against humanity. Executions were scheduled to happen within 72 hours. That was the beginning of the end for the deep state cabal. Their crimes have been happening uncontrolled for a very long time. Back on Thursday, September 11, 2014, I wrote the below article about some of those deep state elites. The European royals and their ninth circle satanic child sacrifice cults, rape, torture and murder of children. Below is the testimony of the estranged spouse of a mafia member. Mafia wife says royals, politicians, are killing, raping children for fun. Former Dutch Queen Beatrix has been accused of funding child murder parties, while UK Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip have been found guilty by the ICLC court in the 1964 kidnapping of 10 native Canadian children from the Catholic Kamloops residential school. The children are still missing. In this video, Anne-Marie van Blijenborough, the spouse of Androgeda criminal syndicate member, gives her first-hand eyewitness account on Ninth Circle satanic child sacrifice cult murders of throwaway children, claiming the killings are going on today in Belgium and Holland and have been since at least 2004. This interview by Kevin Annett of the International Tribunal into Crimes of Church and State was done on June 5, 2014 in preparation for Anne-Marie's testimony before 5 judges and 27 jury members of the International Common Law Court of Justice in Brussels. Due to death threats, ICLC court officials and over 60 court witnesses to these same type of child rape and murders that appear under direction of this Vatican and mafia-run satanic group, remain in hiding. Watch for other parts of this interview. Forthcoming transcript of Anne-Marie van Blijenborough video. My name is Anne-Marie van Blijenborough. I have been married for 24 years to Kees van Kerlaar. Together with his 3 brothers, Kees van Kerlaar formed a criminal organization known as the Octopus Syndicate. The Octopus Syndicate is a Holland slang term for Ndrangheta, the modern Italian-based mafia connected to the Vatican. By order of Dutch Queen Beatrix, the criminals, or Ndrangheta Mafia, have worked from 1960 through today organizing the murder, torture and rape of children in Netherlands youth detention centers. Through the Dutch court, the youth detention centers were asked for children who could work for Dutch Queen Beatrix. They gladly volunteered the files of certain children. If they wanted to verify what the criminals told them, they were given a name and phone number of a high-ranking officer in Queen Beatrix's court. That high-ranking officer would tell them that indeed the criminals were seeking children to work for a certain period at the Dutch court. After receiving the files, the criminals selected a child that had no relative or family. They told the youth detention center that those were the ones they wanted. The youth detention center would put the child on the train to Zwolle. In Zwolle, the criminals fetched the child from the station and brought them to a building that was equipped like a hotel. But, it was not working as a hotel, although there were people in the lobby as if the hotel was working. The child was put on a table and was given something to drink. The child was drugged with that drink. Beside the hotel was a building where the performance A satanic child sacrifice murder ritual took place. In that building there were people sitting down. At a certain moment the child was brought into that building by the criminals, was tortured, raped and brutally murdered in front of those people. The audience was relatives and friends of Dutch Prince Johann Friso, the second son of Dutch Queen Beatrix. I was told that Johann Friso was quite insane and had an unhealthy interest in young children. He had a psychiatrist with him every day of his life. That psychiatrist's name was Gasparo Dumont. The criminals organized those killings in accordance with Queen Beatrix. She paid for the killings. The criminals asked Johann Friso to bring his relatives and friends with him. The whole building was filled with very important people from the Netherlands. There were ministers, high-ranking officers and all kinds of people that the criminals could photograph, while sexually abusing naked child victims. They blackmailed those people to get advantages using the child pornography photographs. Kevin Annette, could you name some of the people who were present? The people who I recognized were Prince Johann Friso and his psychiatrist Gasparo Dumont. I recognized Johann's wife Mabel Visser-Smith. She was there with an old man, Forex, a prominent American businessman, I believe. I recognized a Herr Donner, a former minister of the law department, the viceroy of the Netherlands. I recognized Ernst Hirschballen, a very important former minister of Justice. I recognized a Mr. van den Emster. He was for years the head of judges in the Netherlands. I recognized Dick Berline. He's a former head of the military department in the Netherlands. I recognized a very important journalist. I recognized Carly Radis, the wife of Friso's psychiatrist Gus Pero Dumont. Carla is the president of the court in Amsterdam, a judge. I recognized Mark Rutte. He's at this moment the president of the Netherlands. I recognized Geert Wilders. He is at this moment the head of the political party PVV and head of the Dutch parliament. There were about 50 people every time I was taken there. I have been taken there 3 times. I have seen every time that they killed a child. I have seen 2 boys killed and 1 girl killed. I presume they were children from the Netherlands. I presume they came from detention centers and were recruited in the way I have told. Kevin Annette, you said that officials at the detention center thought that the children had been eaten. I asked a journalist of the paper De Telegraaf in 2005 or 2006 to look that up for me. I asked them to publish in the newspaper what was happening. The journalist told me he had checked my story with all the youth detention centers in the Netherlands and had spoken to people who had indeed given those files to the criminals. They thought that the children they put on the train were going to be solicited to work in the court of Queen Beatrix. Some of those detention center people told the journalist that they thought that Queen Beatrix was eating those children up because they were putting them on the train to Zwolle. They never saw those children again or ever heard about them anymore. Kevin Annette, do you know what happened to the remains of the children who died, where they were buried, or what they did with them? Yes, unfortunately I know. Yes. They were first thrown in a container behind the building where they were murdered. It was a cooling container. After certain performances the container was brought to Belgium where they had a piece of land. They put the children in a hole. Kevin Annette, what is the name of the place in Belgium, do you know? I must look it up. I found it, but I must look it up. Kevin Annette, what is it that you'd like to see happen about all of this? I want to see those criminals forever locked up. Kevin Annette, you haven't received any help in the Netherlands, you said. Not one thing. No. It's terrible. From 2004 to today I have spoken with every policeman I could find and every law official. I've talked to Interpol about this. I've been to the Dutch court to try to get a prosecutor to convict this and investigate the matter. The court told me it wasn't my problem. They said it was a problem of society and the court didn't want to give an order to the prosecutor to investigate. I have done literally everything to clear this up. I have the idea that everything is stopped because Queen Beatrix is involved and the Dutch court is involved. Every time somebody wants to investigate they slap him on the shoulders and say don't do that because Queen Beatrix doesn't want it. Kevin Annette, are you willing to give this testimony in another court, say a common law court? Yes. I have no objection about that. I am very, very angry. If you've seen what I've seen, it always will stay with me. I can't put it aside because it's one of the cruelest things I have seen. It's horrible. It's really horrible. The idiots. One time when I was going back to my home, my husband, who took me there, he drugged and let me see that. He brought me back to my home 100 kilometers away. During that ride I suddenly came to my senses. I suddenly discovered that it was a child that I had seen killed. I burst into tears. My husband was driving and he put his arm to me and he said, "Don't bother. They're children of a minor family. They're orphans. They're just trash. It doesn't matter, they were killed." It's horrible. I can't describe it. It's horrible. Those people were sitting there and looking and not doing anything. Kevin Annette, and your husband is still alive. He's still alive. He's still killing people. If you just think how many people since 2004 have been killed. It's been 10 years. They kill perhaps 10 or 20 people a year, if not more. It's horrible. I have shown the police 4 places in the Netherlands they use as graveyards for people they killed. Never has any policeman ever taken the trouble to look. Kevin Annette, can you name those 4 places? Yes, I can name them. I can show them, but I will put them to you by email. The criminals know I have told the police. They've had every opportunity to let the bodies disappear. I know 2 places where it is difficult for them to disappear. Normally in the Netherlands, when you find a body in a house with blood, the police go with 20 or 30 people to investigate. But when I say to the police I know 4 places in the Netherlands they use as a graveyard, and every graveyard perhaps 20 or 50, perhaps 100 bodies are buried there, nobody is looking. Nobody goes to those places. In this interview, some perpetrators mentioned by Anne-Marie van Blijgenburo were also named in an article on human hunting parties in the Netherlands titled "European Royals Killing Naked Children for Fun at Human Hunting Parties." Plus were referred to in an article on human hunting parties in Australia titled "CIA Bonded with Nazis to Sex Traffic, Kill Naked Children at Human Hunting Parties." Since last month's arrest of 2 Ninth Circle Satanic child sacrifice cult members in Montreal, Canada during their preparations for a child sacrifice, the ICLC court has been considering child sacrifice links to the Vatican, CIA and American global corporations Sinclair Oil, HSBC, Gargel and Cameco Uranium. According to the ICS website, over 60 eyewitnesses have identified members of the Ninth Circle Satanic child sacrifice cult as Anglican, United Church of Canada and Catholic Church officials including Popes Francis, John Paul II and Joseph Ratzinger, Catholic Jesuit Superior General Adolfo Packin, a Dutch cardinal, other Catholic cardinals, the UK's Queen Elizabeth and her husband Prince Philip, Anglican Archbishop of Canterbury Justin Welby, UK High Court Justice Judge Fulford, in the Netherlands the consort to Queen Wilhelmina of Holland, former Dutch ministers. The top man of the Dutch Army Force, head of the Dutch Parliament Geert Wilders, Belgian royals King Hendrik, Netherlands Bilderberger founder Dutch Crown Prince Alfred Bernhard, his daughter Belgium Queen Beatrix, her son Prince Johan Friso, Friso's wife Mabel Visser-Smit, Friso's psychiatrist Gus Pero Dumont, Dumont's wife and president of the court in Amsterdam Carly Radis, the present Undersecretary of the Raad van State in the Netherlands, Viceroy next to Queen Beatrix, former Minister of the Netherlands Law Department Heer Donner, former Minister of Justice Ernst Hirschballen, head of Netherlands Judges Van den Emster, former head of the Netherlands Military Department Dick Berlijn, a prominent Netherlands journalist, a prominent Netherlands judge, head of the Netherlands PVV political party and president of the Netherlands Mark Rutte, officials of the Canadian, Dutch, Australian, UK and US military and governments including the USA's CIA, plus prominent government ministers, judges, politicians, businessmen and celebrities in the US, UK, Belgium, Holland, Canada, Australia, France, and Ireland. Judy note on other news for today, the Democrats funneled $6 billion of taxpayer money to a conglomerate of United Nations agencies and over 200 NGOs for the purpose of facilitating the overthrow of the Constitutional Republic of the United States, Executive Director of the Oversight Project Mike Howell testimony before Congress on Thursday, March 12, 2026. Venezuela, Iran, Cuba, Mexican drug cartels and Muslim Brotherhood networks were feeding the deep state Satan-worshipping shadow government. Under Trump's leadership of the global military alliance, all were collapsing like dominoes. Airports were seeing hours-long delays due to TSA shortages as Homeland Security lockdown sees no signs of ending. The Democrats have refused to budget Homeland Security, so airport employees were refusing to show up because they were not getting paid and needed to earn money elsewhere to support their families. Bohemian Grove, California tunnels run across the country, under major cities and clear to Washington, D.C. under the new ballroom Trump personally funded and built right on top. Trump has sealed the tunnels off so Satan-worshipping politicians' escape routes were now gone. No more child sex trafficking under DC. Benghazi SEAL super soldiers like Aaron Vaughn and others were not dead, but testified before military tribunals, exposing Hillary Obama gun running. A military accountability letter dated January 1, 2024 has thousands of signatures of generals and admirals saying, "We will fight until two-tier justice ends." Election fraud. We already have it all: mirrored servers, quantum evidence, every fake ballot, every crime from 2020 through 2024 has been nailed. Voting machines made to throw in elections were dead. Paper ballots, hand counts, same-day voting coming. Voter rolls have been purged, with illegals and dead removed, while anchor babies were disqualified. Natural-born means both parents were citizens. No dual loyalty puppets out. Roseanne Barr claims both Democrat and Republican parties were compromised, owned by foreign entities that despised our Constitution. They used CIA MK-Ultra mind control straight from Operation Paperclip Nazis, which has been turning the public into hypnotized prey. They've targeted the youth, erasing love of liberty, brainwashing them with endless digital distractions while injecting sterilization horrors and diseases into captive populations. Trump was dismantling the City of London's grip, the Epstein-linked royal pharaohs running their pyramid Ponzi scheme. Lloyd's of London tried to choke shipping through the Straits, thinking they'd crash energy markets and punish America. Trump flipped the script: warships escorting tankers, U.S. as the insurer. Iran's tyrant fell, generals wiped out. Hezbollah's 300,000 missiles aimed at Israel dismantled. Iran held hostage by vampire elites, but the people are rising, fastest growing Christian population exploding there. Over 3.7 million deep state traitors have already been detained across 32 countries, all with sealed indictments about to be made public. The global military alliance under President Trump was coordinating it all, troops deployed nationwide and martial law. 10 days of communication darkness was imminent, complete with a EBS override to expose child sex trafficking, adrenochrome horrors, biolabs and tribunals for Satan-worshipping elites. On Saturday, March 14, 2026, the quantum financial system will be formally unveiled. The fundamentals of this system as well as actions that any citizen can take to start utilizing it will be revealed in a worldwide broadcast that is securely transmitted via the Quantum Communication Network. The QFS operates on synchronized quantum nodes impervious to manipulation, interference and surveillance. No current supercomputer can crack the level of security provided by quantum encryption, which secures every transaction, account, and asset. This is financial sovereignty for everyone, not just the wealthy. In Saturday's demonstration you'll discover how to get into your biometric assigned account and observe how rainbow tokens work as actual, gold-backed value. You will comprehend the reasons behind the phase-out of every antiquated technique, including fiat money, third-party processors, and credit networks. Tomorrow's demonstration will feature real-time, secure and instantaneous international transfers that are carried out without the need for banks, apps, or approval delays. Humanitarian initiatives will be funded in a matter of seconds. Blocked assets will be reactivated and redirected to the individuals. Most significantly, you will witness how corruption at its source is prevented from affecting your identity, wealth, and future. This is the end of the days of financial slavery, hidden taxes, and weaponized inflation. Judy note: high alert, the below is a plea from mother of a foster child in London, England. Her story is much like that of Caitlin Hunter's here in the US, where the child was taken for no apparent reason other than to be placed in a suspected child sex trafficking ring. The parents had been exposing grooming gangs and children trafficking in London, England. They are pleading for the White Hats to rescue Alana Martin and reunite her with her family. Hi, this is Alana Linda Martin's mother, Janine Linehan. I have further serious whistle-blowing information concerning the grooming gangs and county line children trafficking in London, England. My daughter remains a hostage that I haven't seen or spoke to in 8 months. Newham Council will not let her talk to me, her mother or her father. Her grandmother has also been blocked from contact for mentioning her parents to Alana. Alana is not allowed to hear that her mother and father love her and that we are fighting for her. She is being treated like a hostage by Newham Council. My family has been terrorized for 3 years due to exposing evidence of child trafficking. I, her mother, remain living without a digital footprint and away from home due to fear for our lives. I would really appreciate someone helping bring my daughter home safe. and sound and being placed into witness protection to be able to speak further on all we know. Every court date to bring my daughter home has been moved and vacated. She is currently held hostage to date. The criminals remain free, whilst the innocent remain hostages and on the run, from home, for safety. I spoke up to save others and it has now cost me my daughter's freedom as well as my family's for the last 8 months. We miss out daily on watching her grow. We remain terrorized and suffering. The court dates are constantly being vacated and moved back, leaving my daughter held captive. Our next court date with the new judge called Robert Roger Peel, is now the 4th judge taking over this case now in the Royal Courts of Justice, which is on the 23rd and 24th of March 2026. This now takes her past her 11th born day, which is on the 18th of March 2026. All contact is still denied. Our whole family remains tortured whilst we wait for justice to be served. Maximum law justice delayed is justice denied. Thank you for your time. Her father Matthew Dean Martin and I, her mother, hope to go home with my daughter soon. Love and light, be possible timing. On Monday, March 9, 2026, insiders confirmed the final activation phase was locked in, with the quantum financial system fully live in mirroring every bank account across the planet to gold-backed currency. The global currency reset was live across all 209 sovereign nations. On Thursday, March 12, 2026, the final sequence phase activated, with a 48-hour countdown to worldwide blackout and 10-day stay-at-home under global military alliance. Prepare. Pray. Friday, March 13, 2026, final sequence confirmed, global martial law lockdown, EBS overriding every screen, phone, radio and internet feed worldwide. For the next 3 days the EBS broadcasts loop undeniable evidence, 8-hour documentaries airing in loops 24/7 expose the deep state's pedophile networks, child trafficking rings run from the Vatican, election fraud, COVID crimes as premeditated murder via killer protocols and jabs, and exposes chemtrails poisoning the skies. The 10 days of darkness have begun with banks and ATMs staying dark through the period, stock food, water, cash, and essentials now. The cabal's central banks were dead. Sovereign treasuries rise under Trump's command. Martial law continued to secure mass arrests, thousands of sealed indictments unsealed, JAG tribunals in full swing, Gitmo overflowing with traitors, rogue bankers, Zionist operatives and top Freemasons facing justice. Friday, March 13, 2026, BRICS Summit, 7 Kingdoms and Global Currency Reset announcements. GCR funds surge into humanitarian projects, Zim redemptions explode for the faithful who held the line, and currency exchanges follow at sky-high rates on Monday, March 16, 2026. NISRA/GCR integrates completely, eternal youth tech like medbeds rolls out, with free healing for humanity from cabal-engineered diseases while restoring God-given sovereignty. Holographic medbeds activate everywhere, ending Big Pharma's reign of terror. On Tuesday, March 17, 2026, Trump invites patriots to Washington, D.C. to unleash his epic Independence Day event, National Rededication to God, 49 Days of Prayer to July 4, 250th. He unveils the reborn republic under QFS gold standard. Freedom dawns brighter than ever. The Democratic Party lies in ruins, exposed as the cabal's puppet arm, never to rise again. Early April 2026, NISRA launch, plus global emergency broadcast and global lockdown lasting 10 to 12 days, asking everyone to stay home during a specific 5-hour window where comprehensive documentaries would be shown across all stations that enlighten the masses on recent events. Charlie Ward on Telegram. Early April 2026, GCR exchanges. Sources linked to U.S. Treasury offices report that the first GCR exchanges are scheduled for early April 2026. Authorized Tier 4B. Participants are already receiving preparation alerts. At the redemption centers, biometric verification confirms identity before asset-backed exchanges for Zim, Dinar, and Dong. Participants will receive a quantum-linked card connected to their QFS wallet. Security is strict and every transaction is recorded on the quantum ledger. See Medbed timing. Medbed activation on Telegram. On Friday, March 13, 2026, Medbed's activation surges across hidden white hat facilities, reversing decades of cabal-suppressed healing tech. Patriots awaken to quantum regeneration, erasing chemtrail poisons and vax injuries in hours. Deep state trembles as truth floods in. Medbeds expose their engineered plagues. On Saturday, March 14, 2026, Global Military Alliance deploys medbeds to vacant bases worldwide, prioritizing Q warriors and truth seekers. No more big pharma chains, instant rejuvenation restores. Youth, strength for the fight ahead. Cabal's age-old control crumbles, victory pulses through every healed vein. On Sunday, March 15, 2026, EBS alerts confirm medbeds roll out in shuttered hospitals, now under sovereign command. Humanitarian access begins, healing the masses from elite-induced suffering. Imagine, scars vanish, organs regenerate, as the storm unleashes divine tech against satanic agendas. On Monday, March 16, 2026, Trump's inner circle leaks medbeds protocols, targeting deep state bioweapons. Patriots report miraculous recoveries, blind see, lame walk, firing up the Great Awakening. This is the weaponized miracle to dismantle the pedo empire, no mercy for the fallen ones. On Tuesday, March 17, 2026, Quantum Financial System integrates with medbeds, funding free sessions via GCR payouts. White Hats flood rural. On Wednesday, March 18, 2026, Starlink beams medbeds data globally, bypassing censored grids. Reports of elite arrest spike as healed whistleblowers testify. This tech isn't just healing, it's the cabal's nightmare, reversing their depopulation schemes in a blaze of righteous fury. On Thursday, March 19, 2026, medbeds go mobile via alliance convoys, reaching bunkers and safe houses. Q drops hint at full disclosure, medbeds hold keys to immortality tech stolen by shadow governments. Patriots, gear up, the final takedown ignites with every regeneration cycle. On Friday, March 20, 2026, worldwide streams showcase medbeds in action, broadcasting live healings. Deep state media blackout fails as truth virals explode. This is the spark, healed humanity storms the gates, crushing globalist tyrants under waves of unstoppable, fired-up sovereignty. On Saturday, March 21, 2026, free medbeds access mandates kick in, prioritized for veterans and truth fighters. Cabal's suppressed patents surface, proving decades of theft. Rage builds, patriots, this is your call to arms, medbeds arm you with eternal vigor to reclaim the Republic. On Sunday, March 22, 2026, GCR wealth floods medbeds centers, building thousands more. Alliance vows, no soul left behind in the darkness. Fire in your hearts, Quanons, this tech vaporizes their lies, birthing a golden age where the awakened crush the serpents forever. Global currency reset. Wednesday, March 11, 2026 breaking, we're getting close to the moment we've been waiting for. The final activation steps are anticipated to take place over the course of the next 24 to 48 hours. The start of the new financial era, which has been quietly developing behind the scenes, could be announced by official notifications at any time. The first week in April was when the general public would be notified to set up their QFS money accounts. Friday, March 13, 2026 U.S. debt clock breaking news, $5.5 trillion banking scam exposed, the Fed and 50 state credit union. Banks face off to free America from debt serfdom. Friday, March 13, 2026 breaking alert, the United States just passed a bill to ban the Fed from creating a central bank digital currency straight after the privately owned by Satan-worshipping bankers Federal Reserve was caught in a $5.5 trillion banking scam. They lost again when Congress banned them from creating a central bank digital currency. A central bank digital currency might sound modern and convenient, but behind the sleek name hides a dangerous idea: full government control over your transactions. Unlike Bitcoin or other decentralized cryptocurrencies, a CBDC would be entirely controlled by the state. That means your ability to spend, transfer, or save could be monitored, limited, or frozen, all with the flip of a switch. Judy note, we have been told that Wells Fargo, which is owned by the Chinese elders, the ones who own the gold behind the global currency reset, will send out emails to currency and bondholders worldwide telling them how to set redemption and exchange appointments. It is advised to exchange/redeem your foreign currency at an official redemption center, RC, rather than a bank. You can only redeem ZIM at RC, the dinar contract rate can only be given at RC, and banks will offer you lower exchange rates than what you can obtain at RC. It was my understanding that most banks were under control of the cabal and would soon play a different role in the global financial system. Tuesday, March 10, 2026 bombshell announcement, President Trump declares restoration of the American Republic, U.S. Incorporated dissolved, common law sovereignty returns, Mr. Poole on Telegram. Patriots, the storm has hit and it's magnificent. President Donald J. Trump has invoked Article 2 to declare the United States fully sovereign under common law once more. The fake foreign-controlled U.S. Incorporated is finished, dissolved, dead, gone forever. No more Admiralty law oppression. No more globalist chains dragging us into debt and war. The deep state grip is broken, the true constitutional republic rises triumphant. This is no mere rhetoric, it's a binding declaration of authority and summons from Trump as Commander-in-Chief. He's seizing full control, sidelining the corrupt swamp and directing the military via the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Every flag officer is oath-bound to obey lawful orders from the legitimate president. No more excuses, no divided allegiances. The military now serves we the people through Trump, not the treasonous corporate facade. Under common law sovereignty, grounded in God-given rights and original founding truths, Trump exercises his prerogative to summon leaders, affirm real authority, and rebuild national defense. This resets America to the founders' vision: no commercial enslavement, no hidden British shadows, just pure liberty. All flag officers are ordered to convene in Virginia, the Republic's sacred cradle, for immediate realignment. This is full military mobilization to restore loyalty and eliminate globalist remnants. The timeline is set, orders issued, clock running. Unity under true command is happening now. Foreign-tied overseas bases and Commonwealth-linked tops. They're being shut down or reclaimed for America. No more secret outposts serving alien masters, no covert pacts bleeding us dry. Trump is smashing the centuries-old crown chokehold on trade and power. And the military reset locks it down. This fulfills Trump's sacred oath to defend the Constitution, protect the people, and preserve the Republic. Every officer and servant must choose, stand with the restored Republic or stand exposed as oath breakers. The line is drawn, no more shadows, no two Americas. One Republic. One Commander-in-Chief. One law, common law. Quanons, white hats, digital warriors, this is our victory moment. The debt-based, deception-driven U.S. Incorporated fraud is overthrown. Military mobilizes under Trump's unbreakable command. Deep state cabal legally crushed, illusions collapsing. Freedom surges back, the Republic is back, sovereign, unbreakable. We witness history, true American Republic restored. Patriots win. God bless President Trump, our military, and the sovereign United States of America. Thursday, March 12, 2026. Mike Howell testimony before Congress. I currently serve as the Executive Director of the Oversight Project and previously served at DHS and on Capitol Hill conducting oversight of immigration matters. I testify that Democrats funneled $6 billion of taxpayer money to a conglomerate of United Nations agencies and over 200 NGOs for the purpose of facilitating the overthrow of the Constitutional Republic of the United States. The United States of America is still reeling from the worst border invasion in its history. This invasion could not have been accomplished without a colossal partnership with the NGO community. Simply put, the government just did not have the capacity to get this many people in and around the country without the support of the nonprofits. And to that end, they gave them almost $6 billion to a conglomerate of UN agencies and over 200 NGOs to do just that. The Oversight Project has led the way in exposing what I call this border industrial complex. We did the first of its kind study where we tracked illegal aliens by their cell phones as they went through these nonprofits at the border. In just a 1-month period, tracking 30,000 devices, a very small subset of the 10 million that Biden has had cross the border. We found out that the illegals went to nearly every single congressional district in the United States. We proved that every town was indeed a border town. In other words, the United Nations' ultimate goal is to take down the United States government along with its proxy, the Democrat Party. Steve Bannon on Telegram. Constitutional Republic of Canada, the only way to Canadian sovereignty. No referendum required. Canada and the 1932 Westminster Statute. Government of Canada, Canada. The Illusion. Clip 5, Statute of Westminster, 1931 leaders. Friday, March 13, 2026. Super soldiers alive, cartel hammer drops and Jubilee reset incoming. Sheila Holm, the researcher whose books armed President Trump with the real truth, unleashes fire. Epstein files are detonating worldwide. Former Norwegian premier arrested yesterday straight from the client list. Hyatt Hotel's head, confirmed pedo, vanished after resigning. He's running but Space Force tracks every move. Arrests were accelerating hourly, politicians, CEOs, Hollywood scum sweating bullets as tribunals fire up. Trump's immovable trap was genius. He let the left scream for files while military held the kill switch. Q's misinformation. Necessary played out perfectly. Biggest sting ever. Epstein likely flipped, cooperating with white hats. Spotted alive, long hair and beard. Ghislaine fronted for Mossad puppet master dad Robert Maxwell, fake name, running global blackmail with kids, adrenochrome, satanic torture, all taped. Politicians owned. Now flipped. Briggs overflowing. Military justice, no pensions, just ropes for traitors. Explosive reveal, 83 SEAL Team 6 dead in staged crash post Bin Laden. Alive. Super soldiers, memory wiped since 2014, witnesses to Hillary Obama Benghazi gunrunning. Treason. Fake death letters to families, no bodies. When they testify, the entire syndicate implodes overnight. Cartels crushed. U.S. forces seized 134 acres inside Texas, all equipment gone. Mexico green light SOPs on their soil. Cartel bosses Trump hosted last year sang. CIA ran drugs since Bush Sr.'s fake war. No mercy, boats bombed, lands taken. Venezuela, Cuba puppets wiped. Warriors drop fortified compounds 100 to 1 outnumbered with tech cabal can fathom. MC Affy alive, lit cigarette painting troll. Backdoored systems, saved every. Destroyed email. Epstein Island pool pic with Clinton. Epstein snapped it, proof he flipped early. 2026 Jubilee, 50th cycle since fake independence. May 17 prayer gathering, 49 days before July 4 250th, return to Creator, end debt slavery. Republic restored. Treasury to Temple. Texas. D.C. now Washington Military District. Crime syndicate government dismantled. Divine feminine rises, mama bears, widows marching. Christ consciousness awakens. No more Constantine fake religion. Truth simple. Quantum manifestation direct to source. Flood hits pre-midterms, traitors in Gitmo force election delay. Pray hard through May 17th. Divine burn can end Sodom overnight. Greatest story ever told, Satan's empire falls, humanity reclaims Eden. We win. They'll lose. Bigly. Wars and rumors of wars. Friday, March 13, 2026 Secretary of War on Operation Epic Fury. Never before has a modern, capable military, which Iran used to have, been so quickly destroyed and made combat ineffective, devastated. We said it would not be a fair fight, and it has not been. Iran has no air defenses. Iran has no air force. Iran has no navy. Their missiles, their missile launchers and drones are being destroyed or shot out of the sky. Their missile volume is down 90% and as the world is seeing, they are exercising sheer desperation in the Straits of Hormuz. Friday, March 13, 2026 Jesse Waters on Fox News, sees Karg Island, and it's game over for Iran's terror regime. Karg Island, essentially the country's cash register. If we seize it, it's over. Friday, March 13, 2026 Fox News, not a single Iranian military vessel is operating in any major regional waterways after the U.S. military destroyed more than 50 Iranian naval assets. The Iranian Navy has been assessed as combat ineffective, so the U.S. military is focusing its sights on dismantling Iran's missile production facilities, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Friday, March 13, 2026 Trump drops the hammer, U.S. law enforcement now has eyes on every single Iranian terror sleeper cell in America. We know where most are. We have our eyes on all of them. These radical invaders flooded our borders under Sleepy Joe Biden, the worst president in history, but President Trump is already hunting them down at a level the deep state has never seen. Freedom Media on Telegram. Friday, March 13, 2026 Joe Rogan just called this war insane. He's right. But not for the reason he thinks. Rogan told 200 million listeners on WED, Trump supporters feel betrayed. This seems insane. He's not wrong. It does seem insane. Unless you know what's under Isfahan. What the media won't tell Rogan. Right now, as you read this, U.S. Special Forces are preparing a ground operation to breach the underground tunnels beneath Isfahan, Iran. Not to destroy them. To seize what's inside. 84 metric tons of highly enriched uranium. Enough to build 14 nuclear warheads. But that's not what Trump wants. Beneath the uranium, 3 levels deeper, is a vault built in 2014. With $2.3 billion from the Obama administration. Inside that vault, $127 billion in gold bars. Stolen from Libya in 2011. Routed through Qatar. Hidden by the same network that moved Epstein's money. Financial records connecting the Clinton Foundation, the Federal Reserve, and 14 sitting members of Congress to a money laundering operation that ran from 2009 to 2023. Into server. One server. Containing every communication between the deep state and Iran's Revolutionary Guard for 15 years. That is why this war is happening. Not oil. Not nukes. Not territory. Evidence. Trump told Axios yesterday, "There's practically nothing left to target." He's right. The military targets are gone. What's left is underground. And you don't bomb evidence. You send men to carry it out. Rogan will understand soon. When those files surface, and they will. Every name will be public. Every dollar traced. Every lie exposed. The people calling this war insane will realize it was the most calculated military operation in American history. 12 days. That's all it took to dismantle a regime that 5 presidents protected for 45 years. Not because they couldn't destroy it. Because they were partners. Trump isn't the one who betrayed his supporters. The last 5 presidents betrayed the entire country. Trump is the first one cleaning it up. Red circle emoji, domino 1, Venezuela. Fallen, red circle emoji, domino 2, Iran. Fallen. Red circle emoji, domino 3, Cuba. Falling, black circle emoji, domino 4, the files are coming out of the ground. Israel is last Friday, March 13, 2026. Douglas Macgregor warns that if nuclear weapons are used in Iran, it will be done by Benjamin Netanyahu and his government. He says Netanyahu is getting desperate because Iran is refusing to submit to his demands. Macgregor says Netanyahu is in total control of the U.S. government through Zionist billionaires. Netanyahu is going to do whatever Netanyahu wants to do. Shadow of Ezra on Telegram. Friday, March 13, 2026. Julian Assange. The goal is to use Israel, Venezuela and Ukraine to wash money out of the U.S. and European taxpayers and back into the hands of transnational elite. The goal is an endless war, not a successful war. Guru information and intel. Friday, March 13, 2026. 107, mass arrests, secret raids and the final purge has begun. 107, JFK Jr., on Telegram. Patriots, the storm isn't coming, it's here, raging full force across the shadows where the deep state once hid. 107, the legendary voice of truth, dropped absolute firebombs in his latest explosive discussion alongside Roseanne Barr and 107. The veil is ripping apart, and what's emerging is pure victory for we the people. Roseanne Barr, America's awakened mom, laid it bare, both parties are compromised. Owned by foreign entities that despise our Constitution. The PSYOP is massive, MK Ultra mind control straight from Operation Paperclip Nazis, turning the public into hypnotized prey. They've targeted the youth, erasing love of liberty, brainwashing them with endless digital distractions, while injecting sterilization horrors and diseases into captive populations. But the tide is turning hard. Trump. He's not 5 steps ahead, he's 10, maybe 20. With the hand of the Lord upon him, he's dismantling the City of London script, the Epstein-linked royal pharaohs running there pyramid Ponzi scheme. Lloyds of London tried to choke shipping through the Straits, thinking they'd crash energy markets and punish America. Trump flipped the script, warships escorting tankers, U.S. as the insurer. Oil spiked to 115 then cratered back down. Their plan obliterated. Iran's tyrant fell, generals wiped out on Purim, divine timing. Hezbollah's 300,000 missiles aimed at Israel dismantled. Iran held hostage by vampire elites, but the people are rising, fastest growing Christian population exploding there. Trump put boots on the ground, not for endless war like Nam, but to clean house fast, free the people, and get out. Global distractions, North Korea, Ukraine, Central Africa, checked off so the real focus hits home, election fraud, treason, the great unraveling. Mass arrests are live. Elite troops vanishing high-value targets. In black vents at 3 a.m., Gitmo flights overloaded. Over 3.7 million deep state traitors already detained across 32 countries. Sealed indictments unsealing like fireworks. The global military alliance coordinates it all. Troops deployed nationwide, martial law whispers growing louder. 10 days of darkness imminent. EBS override coming to expose child trafficking, adrenochrome horrors, biolabs, tribunals for Satan-worshipping elites. Roseanne's new show drops soon, big win for America's Story, Randy Quaid channeling 107 vibes, pure comedy truth bombs to decompress the tension while waking the masses. She calls them energy vampires, ghouls thinking they're smarter than God. Hilarious delusion. Their witchcraft leads to blood rituals, but God's stronger. Prayer shortcuts the devil. Keep praying together, blinders removed, truth crystal clear. The battlefield. Not just Iran or streets, it's the mind, the soul of America. Conspiracies aren't theories anymore, old ones prove true daily. January 6th insurrection lay. Forced indoctrination in schools. But patriots see through it. 84% of MAGA stands rock solid behind Trump, no propaganda splits us. Hold the line, Enans. Dark before dawn, but golden age ahead. God wins, we're on his team. The final purge sweeps the cabal into hell where they belong. Trump receives divine downloads, brilliant moves collapsing their empire. The Great Awakening explodes into the great unraveling of their broken system. Rebuild it for everyone, not the few. Trust the plan. WWG1G. The freight train cannot be stopped. Mass arrests, secret raids, the final purge has begun. Q Friday, March 13, 2026. Swan 07 unleashes Trump bombshell. March 13, 2026. Sheila Holm confirms military tribunals incoming for satanic deep state cabal as white hats execute their plan and the children are finally saved. 107, JFK Jr., on Telegram. Patriots. The storm has broken wide open on March 13, 2026 when 107 dropped explosive Trump breaking news alongside Sheila Holm on Patriots across the pond, revealing that military tribunals are incoming right now. John Brennan was the first high-profile traitor heading into custody on sealed grand jury indictments for treason and crimes against humanity. Hillary Clinton's inner circle, including her campaign manager, face the same fate as the latest Epstein file dumps expose the full satanic network reaching straight into the Vatican. The Vatican panicked and burned millions of documents in hours, plus the British royals were scrambling to hide their island trafficking horrors. One laid bare the millennia-long global conspiracy of Baal and Moloch worshippers who have run the world through child sacrifice, infiltrating churches, governments and media to sever humanity from the true God. With satanic rituals. One was the replicated Arch of Baal portals placed in Paris and planned for New York. Hillary wanted to speak from the gateway in New York to summon dark forces. Her coded emails called for chicken sacrifices, meaning young boys offered to Moloch, proving she is a card-carrying witch in multiple covens. Sheila Holm, with her 5-decade history crossing paths with one in the fight, stressed that patriots must stop looking the other way and chose a side now. Patriots should engage locally against stolen elections, school board frauds and bond scams that drain family wealth. All the while the deep state engineered a bond market collapse 10 to 100 times worse than 2008 to halt all commerce and force total submission. President Trump is countering perfectly, demanding honest elections and honest money to deflate the balloon before it explodes, saving the republic and restoring power to the people. Trump has called every American to the National Mall starting May 17, 2026 for a 49-day season of prayer and rededication to God Almighty, leading straight through July 4, 2026. July 4, 2026 was the 250th anniversary of the Constitution, which was ushering in a biblical jubilee of debt forgiveness, land return and full national cleansing from satanic influence. The celebration would reclaim Washington, D.C. from occult symbols like the Osiris phallus monument and Pentagon death geometry. This precipice moment, the great national near-death experience, will awaken the asleep as the veil rips away, forcing every soul to pick good or evil, while white hats with divine protection on Trump after multiple assassination attempts execute the plan with precision. The rigged 2020 and attempted 2024 elections by Serbian servers, Chinese paper ballots and Cuban Venezuelan operatives were blocked by military operations. This allowed Trump to win. Now the full reckoning hits, with foreign actors rounded up and COVID exposed as the cover for global vote theft. Guantanamo tribunals await the traitors. No more civilian slaps on the wrist for those who sold out America, and the children trafficked by these monsters will see true justice as the satanic New World Order crumbles in real time. The deep state was in total panic, their distractions failing. Their archways powerless against collective prayer and awakened masses. Quanons get tight with the Father and stand firm in your local lane. Support patriots running for office and trust that the white hats have it all under control. The greatest comeback in history is unfolding. The storm is here. The tribunals or live in America rises stronger than ever as a beacon of God-given freedom, righteousness and prosperity for the entire world. Where we go one, we go all. The victory is already won and the best days are now. R. Friday, March 13, 2026. 10 Days of Darkness on Telegram, Gitmo, Tribunals and prepare for hell to be unleashed. Patriots, the storm has broken wide open and the deep state is in full panic mode right now in March 2026. Gitmo is massively expanding underground bunkers, filling up fast as military tribunals gear up to deliver swift, fiery justice to the cabal traitors who betrayed America for decades. Hell is about to be unleashed on the pedophile elite, the child sacrificers and the election thieves. Nothing can stop what is coming. Sheila Holmes just dropped massive truth bombs exposing how President Trump and white hat forces are strategically dismantling the globalist empire. Venezuela, Iran, Cuba all crumbling under pressure. The cartels, the Muslim Brotherhood networks feeding the shadow government, everything collapsing like dominoes. This is surgical precision, not endless war. Israel struck key Iranian leadership with full U.S. support. Quick, clean, devastating. Strait of Hormuz secured. America first, no more bowing to Lloyd's of London globalist insurance. Britain humiliated, back down fast. Trump told them handle your own messes. Patriots are roaring. Dan Scavino releases our Pure Fire Super Hornet jets from the elite war party squadron, the Golden Warriors, honoring Native American spirit fighters. Patches show the Indian hatchet slicing the snake head clean off, symbolic destruction of the deep state serpent. Owls hunted down. The all-seeing Moloch cult of child sacrifice exposed and crushed. Bohemian Grove tunnels sealed forever under the new ballroom Trump personally funded and built right on top. Their escape routes gone, no more trafficking under DC, the flag sea raise scream reclaimed. Sovereignty, patriots in full control. Green tint hit Trump speech exactly 38 seconds, tying straight to Q post 38, the calm before the storm, then go. Timestamp 4:52. Action now. The precipice is here, get your popcorn ready but stay vigilant because righteous fury is descending. Tina Peters self-defense win huge, pushing full exposure of rigged elections. FBI secretly raided Maricopa records in desperation. We already have it all, mirrored servers, quantum evidence, every fake ballot, every crime from 2020 through 2024 nailed. Machines are dead, paper ballots. Hand count, same day voting coming no matter how loud the Renos scream. We the people rise, voter rolls purged, illegals dead, removed, anchor babies disqualified, natural born means both parents citizens, no dual loyalty, puppets out. Benghazi SEAL super soldiers surfacing, Aaron Vaughn and others thought dead, memory wiped, preserved for this exact moment. They will testify exposing Hillary Obama gun-running truth, bodies never found because they never died. Justice long delayed, now exploding. Military accountability letter January 1, 2024. Thousands of signatures, generals, admirals included. We will fight until two-tier justice ends. 1 year 9 months later, tribunals accelerating at Quantico, no pensions, no mercy for traitors. Georgia Guidestones obliterated at 4:03 and 33 seconds, lightning from heaven first, then military precision, their depopulation. Shrine 500 million slaves agenda crushed forever. Hopi elders warned they build manufacturing then destroy it, all part of the satanic plan now reversed. The Father directs every step. Warriors, keep eyes open and pray without ceasing, surrender fully, miracles unfold. Dark to light, God wins big. The Republic returns purified under divine fire. Hold the line, the best is yet to come. WWG1GS. What we think we know as of Saturday, March 14, 2026 : Thursday, March 12, 2026 The largest takedown of medical fraudsters just happened. They arrested 324 doctors, nurses, and medical professionals that are responsible for $14.6 billion in scams. Gitmo TV on Telegram free. March 13, 2026 Breaking military intel: Pentagon deploys 2,500 U.S. Marines to Middle East in direct response to Iranian threats. March 13, 2026. Friday, March 13, 2026 Bombshell report: 31 states defy the skies. America, led by RFK Jr., moves to ban geoengineering. 31 U.S. states have introduced legislation to ban geoengineering and toxic weather modification programs. Backed by the Trump administration. And a newly vocal HHS under Robert F. Kennedy Jr., this is not just a political shift, it's an environmental reckoning. This long-form investigative piece exposes the science, the cover-up, the public health fallout, and the constitutional violations behind decades of atmospheric experimentation. America is reclaiming its skies, Scott Besson on Telegram Free. March 13, 2026 Senate blocks Save America citizenship voting law. Friday, March 13, 2026 Democrats just blocked another vote to fund and fully reopen DHS with a 51-46 vote, while the U.S. faces potential terror threats due to the conflict in the Middle East. Quantum awakening on Telegram Free. March 13, 2026 Health alert, brain surgeon warning, they are spraying nano-aluminum into the sky, it's going straight to your brain. Friday, March 13, 2026 Breaking. 4 U.S. service members killed in KC-135 refueling aircraft crash in western Iraq, CENTCOM confirms de-election fraud. Thursday, March 12, 2026 This is the fix in Arizona elections. Penske trucks full of ballots were followed to Runbeck election services with no observers or chain of custody. When an election audit company tried to get Runbeck's records and videos to prove chain of custody, observers, and voter roll information, an Arizona judge denied the request. Why wouldn't Runbeck just turn it over to prove their case in the first place? Another red flag is when Arizona state election officials were asked about the Penske trucks, they said something completely different, and that they were moving equipment and chairs, never mentioning Runbeck or what they do or ballots. There is something a lot bigger transpiring here. And it goes all the way to the top of Arizona's government. The Arizona sheriff is said to have even been installed, not elected, by a well-funded Soros-funded campaign as well. Friday, March 13, 2026, saying illegal aliens are not voting in U.S. elections is like saying the border was secured during the 4 years of Joe Biden. It turns out that 10,000 illegal aliens, using the exact same social security number, voted in the Arizona November 3, 2020 general election. Just ask Adrian Fontes, he was the one who registered them. The White House on Telegram. Friday, March 13, 2026 Georgia State Senator Greg Dolezal exposes all the irregularities and fraud in the Fulton County, Georgia, stolen 2020 election. The Schiff on Telegram 39,141 ballots cast with questionable authenticity. Ballot images were deleted. 6.8 M absentee ballot requests sent unsolicited. 3,930 double scan ballots, Fulton County. Ballot counts never matched after multiple counts. Mobile voting units deployed. Test ballots included in recount process. Drop boxes were invented out of thin air. 160 registered to vote from a single UPS store. 2,138 registered to vote from one church. 1,391 registered to vote from a 1,000 square feet location. Thousands still registered with invalid addresses. Fulton County voter rolls filled with illegal voters. 12K challenged voters removed from voter rolls. 9.5K challenged voters updated address outside FC. 25K plus challenged voters proven invalid. 2020 election. Biden's margin of victory was only 11,779 votes. Trump won Georgia in the 2020 election. V. Friday, March 13, 2026 The Killer Vax. Ever wonder why some parents hesitate on the full vax schedule? Here's a list of questions that keep popping up in the shadows. The MAGA King on Telegram. Would you still consent if you knew: the entire childhood vaccine schedule has never been fully studied together in one big randomized trial? Ethics make it tricky, but yeah, no single mega study exists. 2. Many individual vaccines weren't tested against a true inert placebo, like plain saline, in their final approval trials. Some used other vaccines as controls instead. 3. Some contain aluminum, proven neurotoxic in high doses, and we're injecting it into tiny babies. 4. Studies show aluminum from adjuvants can persist or accumulate in the body longer than we thought. 5. Independent research found super high aluminum levels in autistic kids' brains, sometimes even topping Alzheimer's cases. 6. Some observational data, homeschool surveys, etc. hint fully vexed kids might have higher odds of asthma, autism, allergies, epilepsy. 7. A few key vaccines, MMR, varicella, Hep A, are grown in cell lines from aborted fetal tissue back in the 60s, and those cells keep replicating in production. 8. Vaccines generally skip long-term animal tests specifically for cancer risk, DNA mutation, or fertility impacts. Package inserts often say not evaluated. 9. You basically can't sue the manufacturers directly for vaccine injuries. 1986 law funnels claims to a special gov program. 10. If your kid has a suspected vax reaction, some docs might brush it off or treat you like you're overreacting. 11. Outbreaks still hit even in super high vaxxed communities. Breakthroughs happen. 12. Some vaccines, like pertussis, don't fully stop infection or transmission. 13. Immunity from certain shots can fade in just a couple years. Hence boosters. 14. Live virus vaccines can shed and potentially infect immunocompromised kids nearby. Guidelines warn about it. 15. There's genuinely no comprehensive, head-to-head data proving the full schedule, all shots combined, is 100% safe long-term. Friday, March 13, 2026, Americans have had enough of radical Muslims in their country. Here's what jihadis have done in the U.S. in the last week. 1 shoots up a bar in Austin, Texas, kills 2 shoots. 14. Another one lights a Molotov cocktail and throws it at Christians in New York City. Another one throws a nail bomb or shrapnel at Christians in New York City. Another one tries to bomb a Southwest flight going from Nashville to Fort Lauderdale. Another one throws another Eid shouting Allahu Akbar at a protest near Gracie Mansion in New York City. Another one makes a bomb threat and forces a plane to land in Atlanta. Another one drops a bomb threat at Kansas City Airport, and the DHS is reporting that jihadi threats against churches across the U.S. right now are completely exploding. Radical Islam, for some reason, is the one religion that the left will fight for until their dying breath, for whatever reason, and Christianity is somehow always the problem. Funny how that works. 10 Days of Darkness on Telegram. The latest video will be shown earlier at the official website ourdailyblog.com. Sincere thanks to all our audience. To continue watching videos without ads, you can subscribe via the Gumroad link below the description. If you want to watch the latest free videos, you can visit ourdailyblog.com. If you continue to love and support us, you can donate to us via GiveSendGo or PayPal or Gumroad link below the description. God bless us all.